Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Just want to say congrats to the winners. We're cooking the NFL again in week 2. We played it a little bit more cautiously in a lot of ways, but I've already seen a lot of slips coming in, a lot of big thank yous, a lot of small bills becoming big bills. And for everyone who took my advice on that Patriots Seahawks game, we knew it was close, but I thought that game very well would go to overtime, which paid plus 1,600. And we thought there were definitely going to be 43 points in that game. And of course there was. It had to be 43 days after Brady's birthday when Seattle Seahawks equals 43, like football, like Yale, because American football is credited to Walter Camp of Yale. And of course, Brady went down to Florida at age 43, which also Florida equals 43, like the 43rd president was elected because of Florida, where his brother was the 43rd governor, and he was the skull and bonesman when 9/11 happened, and Brady and the Patriot Act and all that just took over the world. But let's just go through the games. The only one that really got us this morning, and we knew it was a very dangerous game, was the Niners-Vikings, and I'm not shocked at all that I was on the wrong side of that one. Don't doubt 93 in Minneapolis, especially when it's 93 days from the Pope's birthday. Brock Purdy falls to 9-3 away in Minneapolis, which we call 93 land. But let's just start right here with the Saints beating the Cowboys. Again, for all the haters out there, I gave you guys a lot of videos last week, and in some of those videos, I gave away picks this week, and I told you about why Derek Carr had a great narrative to beat the Cowboys, and we looked even more into it. It looked better and better. And if you're out there and you took them with the points, which was the safe way to play it, of course, you didn't get the great payout, but we knew the Saints had an awesome narrative to win this week through Derek Carr. And look at the score, you guys, 44-19. You know, for years, just all the little haters that hang around all the time. Zach runs the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. You can make anything line up like that. You can make anything line up if you do it forwards and backwards. What's Saints equal forwards and backwards? Is it 44-19? Oh, yeah, it is. Is that the score of today's game? Do we show this shit every week? Saints 44-19. Wonder where they got that scripted score from. 63 points. Don't remind me what happened in Dallas in 63. It was a massacre. You know what I mean? Are you following me? You know? Are you following me what happened in Dallas in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry? Dealey Plaza, JFK. You see how Scottish Rite's 15/9, just like Donald Trump's 15/9. Golf course shooting. Did you guys hear the story about Trump? Another one. It's as real as these football games. Golf course shooting 93 days after Trump's birthday. 93 days before the Pope's birthday on a Sunday when the sun's 93 million miles away. Oh, by the way, is today the 258th day of the leap year for the little Trump golf course shooting story where they tell you that it happened just before 2 p.m. during NFL Week 2 with the second scare. Somebody wants to phone in here real quick. I'm going to let them phone in real quick. 803, did you want to add something?
Hey, Zach, this is Jay. I wanted to make a comment on the Bucs versus Lions game.
Well, you know I'm going to go through it. We like the Bucs to upset the Lions a lot today. What do you want to share?
The Buccaneers got their 322nd all-time win included in the playoffs. And I know that 322 was a big number with Detroit last year because it was like the 322nd year. The age of the city became 322. And I know Skull and...
Here, you know what? Let's save the call for after I get through everything, because let's just go through the easy-to-understand reason why the Bucs beat the Lions. This stuff's a little bit more complicated. We had a very simple reason the Bucs would upset the Lions today on a very familiar pattern, but I'll open up the phone lines there when I'm done. Thank you, Jay. Okay. So here, let's just run through the games. Let's run through the games. Raiders upset the Ravens. Woo! Another dollar parlay. Right here, you guys. Look at John Harbaugh's record. What just happened in the regular season? Las Vegas Raiders. You see the 160 and the 101? That's now John Harbaugh's record in the regular season. 160 and 101. And here's another one. You remember what happened week 1? Baltimore equals 95. Baltimore equals 95, right? Week 1, the Chiefs became 9-5 versus Baltimore on the date 9-5. Today, the Ravens fell to 9-5 versus the Raiders. They just fell to 9-5 versus the Raiders, and Harbaugh just became 160 and 101. That's his record in the regular season. And again, you can verify all these things on Football Reference. Give it till tomorrow when it updates and gives him the 101st loss. Or here, I'll just show you real quick on Football Reference that you can see that what his record was coming into today. So again, a nice little upset right there. John Harbaugh came in on 160 regular season wins and 100 losses. Notice it says he's 0-1 because they have an update today. Once he goes to 0-2, he's going to be 160 and 101. And there was a complication in this game. Had Lamar Jackson won, somebody's out there. You didn't spell Raiders right. I got the right letters in there. I just had dyslexia. But had Deshaun Jackson won, he could have got his 61st win. So it did make that a little bit complicated. So we thought Raiders with the points was not a bad way to play that game. Raiders in a dollar parlay with the huge potential payout. I think they were plus 340 today if you took them on the money line. And again, this is how, when you find these reads, you can turn small bills into big bills, You don't have to risk a lot to get paid a lot. So notice it just upset overload. It was amazing the way a Lions upset would have worked out, and they did get upset. I've told you guys about Tampa Bay in 25 so many times through the years with the baseball team, with the football team. Tampa Bay loves 25. Jared Goff now has 3 25s that win against him in his record because he has a record with the Lions and he has an all-time record. And Dan Campbell also had 2 25s going against him as a coach, his all-time coaching record and his record with the Bucs. So 5 different 25s between Dan Campbell and Jared Goff played today in favor of Tampa Bay by them winning all 25s. And again, the Saints and the Bucs were both 6.5-point underdogs, both nice payouts with upsets. And a lot of people in our community parlayed all 3 of these games together, put a small bill on it, and they hit it. And one dude, one guy turned a dollar bill into 300 already today because he had the overtime prop, which was plus 1,600 in the Seahawks game. Now, Packers beat the Colts, and notice the media was making it seem like Packers probably couldn't get it done with Willis. Well, we didn't care who was in there, Jordan Love or Willis. We said that the Packers should lose in Sao Paulo to the Eagles. That game was, if you guys missed what they did in Sao Paulo, here, let me just remind you again, and then I'll tell you what they did today. You see how Sao Paulo has this gematria at 28, 116, 44 like Packers? 28, 116, 44. For the record, Jordan Love's got that 116 and 44 as well. I speculated that Jordan Love will get hurt in the game because I said when things line up that much for a player, so often they do get hurt. Exactly what happened. We got this shit down to a science. Remember how that's a football stadium in South America where they typically play what we call soccer, where they actually kick the ball. Number 44 kicked in the first 2 points for the Packers. But if you go back and look, the 1960 championship was the Packers and the Eagles, and that was the 28th championship game. LaFleur picked up his 28th regular season loss in that game, and Donald Trump had just called himself Vince Lombardi before the game, and it was 60 days before the 60th U.S. presidential election, and Donald Trump was 60. Anyway, we thought LaFleur was going to get that 28th regular season loss, and he did, and we said he can wait to get his 60th win until he plays Indianapolis, the most 60 city in America, and that's exactly what he got. He got his 60th all-time win today. LaFleur also got his 57th regular season win, 60 if you include his postseason career as well. But you see how Scottish Rite is 57 and 159? Again, just like Donald Trump's 159 of Scottish ancestry. American football is credited to the Scottish Rite Freemason Walter Camp. So the 57th win on 15/9 in the regular season also made sense for LaFleur. What's their logo, the Scottish Rite? It's a big fat G, just like the Packer G. Vince Lombardi, the Jesuit, who died unexpectedly at Jesuit Georgetown. Now, the Jets had plenty of narrative to beat the Titans. I wasn't sure they were going to cover the spread, so I did advise to take a money line. They did cover the spread. There was a narrative for them not to. But the Jets had the best narrative to win, and Titans, they love the number 34 in Tennessee. Tennessee equals 34. Last week, the Bears became 3-4 at home all time by beating Tennessee. This week, Saleh, the coach of the Jets, stayed on 34 losses as a head coach. And there was a few other things. Rodgers stayed on 76 losses with ref number 76 working the game. And sometimes the refs can be really helpful. Sometimes they can be a little bit misleading. They baited me into taking the 49ers. I knew I could be in trouble taking that 49er game. But 34 is a good number in Tennessee. It prevailed again. So Vikings and 49ers. Here was the double trouble they set up. Remember how Minnesota hosted Super Bowl 52? Minnesota equals 52. Today, Shanahan picked up his 52nd regular season loss, losing to Minnesota. And today was on the 163rd day at Tim Walz's age, which is the 38th prime. Like Minnesota's also big with the 38. But another number that's great in Minnesota is 55. Minneapolis equals 55. Remember the basketball team there, Timberwolves is 55. They play in the Target Center 55. Never fade 55 in a Timberwolves game. It doesn't miss when it's in Minneapolis. But had Shanahan won today, he could have stayed on 55 all-time losses. Remember last week the Vikings had number 55, the ref working their game? I'm trying to remember. I think like that night the Lynx were a 5.5-point favorite and covered, the Minnesota Lynx WNBA. But check this out. You see, we call Minneapolis the 93 city because it's on the 93rd meridian. Minneapolis, Minnesota's 93. Been a lot of 93 rituals in history. Today is 93 days after Trump's birthday and 93 days before the Pope's birthday, in light of how they sync up games with both of these individuals. And Brock Purdy did fall to 9-3 away. So that game was dangerous. Vikings win with 23 points on the 23 date numerology. And Seahawks and Patriots was the biggest potential payout of the day if you just did $1 on what we speculated. We speculated Seattle and Patriots could go to overtime. Because, again, today leaves 107 days left in the year. Overtime's 107-44, just like Seattle's 107-44. By the way, Volcano has the 107-82 connection like Seattle. And if you guys didn't know, Seattle's rated it. Also, Vulcan is the volcano god. You see how Vulcan's 19 like Seattle? If you guys don't know, Seattle's one of the most dangerous cities to live in the world because of Mount Rainier. But that's another topic. Again, today leaves 107 days left in the year. The score of this game was 10-7 early. And I was quite uncertain about the outcome. I gave a little bit of advantage to the Seahawks because Jacoby Brissett could stay on 19 wins in his career, which he did. And Geno Smith could stay on 37 all-time losses for his career, which he did. Patriots 37. But we thought there were going to be 43 points in the game because it was 43 days after Brady's birthday. And again, Seattle won their only Super Bowl with 43 points. Seattle Seahawks is 43. Remember, that was Super Bowl 48 where Seahawks is 48. Seattle Washington's 94. That was the 94th NFL season. They beat Denver 94. And then Russell Wilson's grandpa died at 94. But yeah, it was 43 days after Brady's August 3rd birthday. He beat him in Super Bowl 49. Seahawks got their revenge in this game. And so, again, had you taken 43 exact points in the game for the total score, and notice, I mean, a 23-point win on the 23-date numerology synced up with Tom Brady. Just like last week, Brandon Cooks scored the first touchdown in the game that Brady was the first ever commentating. Brandon Cooks equals 199, like Brady was the 199th pick. Brandon Cooks equals 73, like Brady went 7-3 in Super Bowls. And remember, Dallas 13, Brady got his last loss in his last game of his career against Dallas. Last week, Deshaun Watson got his 13th home loss to Dallas, and he also got his 30th regular season loss like Cowboys. And again, this is how the NFL plays the fans for fools, because the fools think the games aren't rigged and scripted, which they 1,000,000% are. And again, you know, like Cowboys look awesome last week. Saints look good last week too, but then the Saints just humiliate the Cowboys this week in their home stadium. And I still need to go back to Derek Carr's stats. I did put it out for free for all you guys last week, what he could do if he beat the Cowboys. Giants and Commanders, this game was iffy as well. If you took the Giants with the points, you covered. They were a 3.5-point dog. And again, if you're going to play games like this, uncertain narratives, it's never a bad idea to take the dog with the points because Vegas loves that scenario. They pay out the least amount of money when the dog covers with the points. Chargers and Panthers. Do you guys remember how many times I've showed you how they sync up the Carolina Panthers with the Black Panther movie series? Like the other year when they put out the sequel, the Panthers were playing on Thursday Night Football, and they had a perfect ritual for their all-time franchise record win on Thursday, the night before the new movie came out. And they picked up the franchise win that was the number of weeks from Chadwick Boseman's death. If you remember that, that was a couple years back. But anyway, the first Black Panther movie came out on 2/16. Today, Bryce Young falls to 2-16 for his career. And Chargers did blow out the Panthers by 23 on 23 date numerology. Yeah, they look good for the win. There wasn't really anything for the Panthers to win that game, and nobody's shocked about that one. And then the Browns and Jaguars. Remember how last week the Cowboys beat Cleveland with 33? I told people one of the surest QB narratives this week was Deshaun Watson to give Trevor Lawrence his 33rd career loss. So Trevor Lawrence picked up his 33rd career loss. Today's date numerology pass were 23, 32, and 68, which all break down to 5. Trevor Lawrence also got his 32nd regular season loss plus his 33rd all-time loss. You see how Cleveland has the 78 and 165, just like Scottish Rite, and then they win it on 15/9. The highest degree of the Scottish Rite is 33. So, I mean, good day for Trevor Lawrence to get his 33rd loss. It goes in with the history of who's behind the rigging. Again, this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from Kabbalah, which is what Freemasonry is based in. So for all of the fans out there who think this is some kind of joke, again, it's just because you're not connecting the dots like we did a long time ago, and we've been spelling out for you for over 11 years now. Freemasonry, Kabbalah, letters and numbers, rigged games, rigged outcomes, week after week. Learn how to turn $1 into over $100, as people have been doing in our community on several nights now. I mean, we're off to just a magnificent start. And here, just to recap, Derek Carr. Here's what Derek Carr did today. Dallas Cowboys, 74, right? Derek Carr gets his 74th career win. Keep in mind, Masonic is 74, going with the Scottish Rite thing. Masonic's also 43, going with the thing they did with Brady today. And again, remember, he went down to Florida at age 43, and then right before he won the Super Bowl, you had the killings in the Goatville neighborhood in Yale. Yale's 43, like Goat. And remember, greatest of all time is 188, and he won that Super Bowl 188 days after his 43rd birthday. And then they did DMX Dirty on 4-3, synced with LL Cool J, who has the song 4-3-2-1. DMX is pretty much dead on 4-3/21. If you don't know the song 4-3-2-1 with DMX, it's a LL Cool J song. LL Cool J ends up by saying he's the greatest of all time. Plus, LL has channel 43 on Sirius XM. But anyway, coming back to Derek Carr, he got his 33rd career road win today. Cowboys 33, just like they won with 33 last week in Cleveland. Derek Carr stayed on 87 career losses, and he plays the Philadelphia Eagles next. Philadelphia Eagles 87. Derek Carr also became 11-8 with the Saints. Dallas, Texas, 118, and Carr became 5-5 away with the Saints on 5-date numerology. So Carr had a ton lined up for him to win this game. Again, for all you guys who won't join the Patreon because you're not willing to invest in the work that can teach you how to make a lot of money off small investments, again, being a cheapskate isn't going to help you out in this life, I'll tell you that. But again, I do put out a lot of free knowledge. I mean, if you just watch my free videos, you can learn how to do this. And I did show you guys that yesterday about how Derek Carr, his win last week, set him up to beat the Cowboys this week. And again, for all out there, but you're running the alphabetic order forward and backwards. Yeah, we sure are, because that's the code. Saints 4419, just like what their name equals. And you see how Saints has the 82 as well? See how the cooties, you know, the COVID equals 82. Remember the first coach in the league that supposedly had the C19 was Sean Payton back when he was on the Saints? Scripted. Remember where it began? Seattle, in the land of the Space Needle, in Bill Gates' backyard, who a decade earlier made a pledge to vaccinate the whole world. Again, this code goes beyond rig sports. It goes well beyond rig sports. So Raiders upset. We knew there was a very real chance as a big dog today for them to get it done. Boom, big payout. Saints, we knew they had a very, 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 very real shot to upset the Cowboys. Boom, Buccaneers had 5 25s in their favor, and 25, and Tampa Bay plays hard. Always has. We've won a ton on that pattern. Another nice upset. Again, LaFleur had the great narrative to beat the Colts. Boom. Jets had the numbers to beat the Titans. I wasn't sure they were going to cover the spread, though. If you took the Titans with the points, you would have lost on that game. If you took Jets' money line, you would have won, but not gotten as good of a payout. Sometimes reading into the scores can actually take you a little bit off the mark. But so far this year, we've hit a lot of scores dead on. Vikings, 49ers. Oh, here's what bait. I was going to stay away from this game, but what baited me into taking the Niners was San Francisco equals 122, and that was the ref working the game. And so often historically, if there's a ref with a jersey number that connects with that city, that team will end up winning. But I want to say it was like 3 years ago where it was oppositeville, and we just stopped looking at it because it was like the exact opposite every game. So far this year, it's mostly been helpful. That was the game where it baited us the most. And one other thing, and shout out to the caller. I'm not mad at your call. It was a great observation. But the last time the 49ers beat the Vikings in Minnesota was the first year that Steve Young was the starter for the 49ers, which was the 92 season. And what's amazing is had the 49ers won this game, they would have got their 26th win against the Vikings all time, 26 days before Steve Young's upcoming birthday. So it kind of felt like they could have done that too. But we knew that game was danger. Again, just Seahawks overtime, huge payout. 43 points in the game, as we've imagined. Nice payout. If you took Giants with the points, you did all right there. Chargers got the win. Browns got the win. Of course, we had the Bills. You guys, we had Bills to win by 20, and we thought the Bills would score 31 on Thursday Night Football. And again, the Bills got to 65 points on the year in Florida, which equals 65. On 65 date numerology was Thursday Night Football, as Josh Allen got his 65th win in the regular season. And again, that was International Dolphin Day, which might sound like a good thing for the Dolphins. But if you look at what that holiday is about, it's to remember the slaughter of dolphins. Some, what do you call them? Poacher outfit killed a bunch of dolphins to make the highly coveted dolphin soup. Who scored all the touchdowns on International Dolphin Day? Wasn't it Cook? He was cooking up some dolphins. He's from the Miami area. 13 days before his birthday on TNF, where 13 just smashes week after week. So, yeah, anyway, congrats to the winners. Again, we're off to a real bang this season. And we'll see what happens. You know what's here, just to show you guys like how amazing the scripts can be. This Rams-Cardinals game is also a challenging game. The Cardinals have not won at home against the Rams for 514 weeks. It's that long of a drought. 514 weeks. Look at the coach of the Cardinals. Look at his record, you guys. I'll tell you why it's still tough, even though. Hold on. What's his name? Is it Josh Cannon? I can't think of his first name. What's the name of that? Hold on. Cardinals coach, NFL, Jonathan Cannon. He's got no respect. His name doesn't even come up here. What in the world? Jonathan. Why is his name not coming up? Oh, Gannon. It's Gannon, not Cannon. I'm getting dyslexic. Look at his record. This is crazy, you guys. If the Cardinals win today, they're going to be 5-14, or the coach will be 5-14, and they'll get their first win versus the Rams in 514 weeks. And again, the date numerology is 5. 14 in numerology is 1 + 4 is 5. But here, just to show you, these games are literally scripted. It's all numbers. The reason it's tricky is because LA is 4 and Rams is 15. And we've seen this before where they line something up like that and then it just goes the traditional way. So I wasn't crazy about this game, but they're up early. And the 5-date numerology is on his side. But here, just to show you guys, so you don't think I'm just making this stuff up. Arizona Cardinals, head-to-head. Los Angeles Rams. All right, so check this out. Home games. L. Here's the win right here. November 9th, 2014, right? Check this out. November 9th, 2014 to today is exactly 514 weeks later. And the coach has a chance to go 5-14 for his career. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. So, woo! All right. Sean, shout out to Sean in the chat. He says, thanks, Zach. Won 600 off your advice on the noon games. Boom! Talk about hitting the target. Well done, Sean. Hey, if anybody wants to come on and do their little gloat, for you guys, a lot of you guys are, you just stick to commenting in our live streams on Patreon, and that's great. But when I'm trying to advertise to the world, have you guys ever noticed my comment section? It's like nobody from the actual community ever leaves the post for the most part, but all the haters and trolls get in and fill up the comments with a bunch of bullshit because they want people to think this is bullshit. You guys have to understand that the trolls that post in my comments and spam lies all day, that's likely Vegas, the NFL, the sports leagues, bookies, all the things that hate us. Vegas hates us because we teach people how to turn $1 into hundreds of dollars. $5 into hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. Vegas does not like these bets because they can't make anything off these bets. But we can make a lot back from them. Oh, yeah, we can make a lot back from them. So, again, if anybody wants to come on here and do a little gloat, I'm dropping the link. And again, for any skeptics, if you want to come on and ask questions, happy to answer them. I mean, but again, you just pay attention to my videos. I gave you guys a lot of gems last week if you just go back through the free posts. So Cardinals up 20-0. That 5-14 thing is looking more and more likely. But yeah, I mean, it's just a joke, you guys. The NFL, it's just, and you learn what we're talking about. You'll see. You'll see just how big of a joke it is. You'll see right through these scores week after week with laser vision. Yeah, so you guys, FBI just announced Trump was between holes 5 and 6 when the supposed shooting by the numbers happened. The election's on the day, leaving 56 days left in the air. Big number with the Jesuits and Masons, and he's part of the club. DC's the Jesuit Masonic City. That's who runs your NFL, too. The Jesuits made modern Freemasonry. They play for the Lombardi Trophy. Lombardi, a Jesuit who died in DC at Georgetown, the Jesuit Masonic City. And the number 56, which is very special to the Jesuits and Freemasons, the number 56 is the number 70 in base 8 counting. And that's what year Vince Lombardi dropped dead, 1970, one day before the season began. It was a new decade. It was a new era without Vince. Now there's just a trophy to remember him. Boom. Deshaun Brown having a great day. Congrats to the winners. I'm streaming on GematriaEffectNews and Gematria Sports. So, for my man Darrell, the big Raiders fan, he's very happy. He's very happy. He didn't think they could beat the Ravens today, but like I told him, Harbaugh had the narrative to lose. Again, Las Vegas Raiders, one more time, 160-101. That's now John Harbaugh's record in the regular season. And again, Baltimore 95. They fall to 9-5 versus the Raiders after a 95 ritual in week 1. And remember, the Vatican's 95 years old right now, just like how we had the first ever Super Bowl on the Vatican's birthday. Let's go out to Open Up, always with a great contribution. Open Up, let me make sure I have it on so it doesn't echo. All right, you're good. Go ahead, friend.
Yeah, I mean, we are doing good. It's week 2 already. We're already, a lot of people in the community are already up a lot of money. If we stop today, we wouldn't need to win anything more. But I just wanted to come in. I hit Deshaun Watson anytime touchdown to hit his 23rd total against the Jaguars. He told us about the Jaguars in 23. And then George Kittle got the 38 in Minnesota. Also, Devontae Adams, 96 in Baltimore. So these are the numbers that work heavily in our favor time after time. And just following your work, it's easy to follow. And if you follow the common patterns, you'll end up winning most of the time.
Yeah, and again, what I'm teaching people to do is make small risks for nice payouts. And like I say, if you lose your $5 for the day, Most people blow more than $5 every day on just unnecessary spending, junk food, overpriced coffee, just crap that you shouldn't even put in your body in the first place. Why waste your money on food just to give your taste buds momentary satisfaction when really you're taking years off your life, putting toxins in your body that's going to give you, no doubt, disease and illness like almost everyone in our society has as time goes on? Instead of wasting your money on stupid stuff like that, why not use it and take advantage of a rigged system and turn that $5 bill into 50, 100, 200? We got guys that have already hit 5 into over 500 last week and this week. And by the way, if you ever sign up for my community, just know we usually do better in the early games than the later games. I don't exactly know why that is, but it's always been that way. And yeah, again, we smashed early games in NFL for a long time. And this season, we are off to a blazing start.
All right. And I just want to encourage like people who are winning, like just hop on the stream. You don't have to put your face or anything. Just, come in and say thank you. I know Zach doesn't ask for tips and donations a lot. Just come on and say, I won this, I did this. Try to leave comments. Comments are not as good because they often get censored or removed by Google, as I've noticed. So whenever Zach comes on like this, just come on and say, I won this. And we know you're happy about winning. Share it with others. That's how to spread the information.
Yeah, because like the haters and trolls are always around. Like one of the trolls wants to get in right now. And here, like this guy, we have dedicated trolls that I think are paid to harass. Like a friend of mine, RPM Trey Vietnam. Yesterday, the trolls were hanging around and ruining his live stream. He's literally taking time out of his day. He makes no money, driving out to get out an important message on the street. The trolls who attack me are now attacking him only because he reps my work. And literally, so here's the guy who's so happy yesterday that he got RPM Trey's stream taken down. And why are you hanging out in here? What are you going to come on and say that the gematria is fake? Here, instead of bitching and whining and making up stories about how people owe you 500, why don't you take the knowledge we're teaching each week and do like a bunch of other people already did in this community and turn $5 into 500 instead of sitting there rolling up blunt after blunt? Because literally what you're doing, Cuts, is wasting money on weed. What is the point of just smoking blunts and talking shit about me all day? I can't think of a worse thing to do when you're high. But here he is. Here's a dedicated troll who hangs around 24/7, 365, who has no life, who's going to come on here and say that this is all bullshit. Okay, Cuts, how come the Saints blew out the Cowboys?
You're fucking straight up retarded, Zachary. You're a shill. You're the definition of a shill. No, your fake gematria is not in the cabal.
Okay, so see that, these are the retarded trolls that hang around all day just to spam bullshit. That guy works at a gas station. His name is spelled E-R-I-N, and he's about 5'2" and has the frame of a lady, and his dad is a T-R-A-N-N-Y. So again, the people who hang around here and troll and harass are weirdos just like him. But again, just, the guy who's begging for money, why don't you use the knowledge, moron, and make some money? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Zach, I don't think that guy doesn't deserve any more airtime here or anywhere else.
No, he doesn't. But I just want to make the point that it's guys like him that are dragging down the good channels because they are a real troll network, and all they do is spam bullshit. And then meanwhile, the people who are in the community can't even leave a comment. It would be helpful to people who pass by, because imagine, you guys, look at the last video I did about hitting the big props on Thursday Night Football. The comments is all full of bullshit and trolls saying that we're lying and scamming. That's all that's in the comment section. Where's all the people who won money? You guys can't leave a comment? You guys can't help out, offset what the trolls do? The trolls are working way harder to hold this message down than anybody is to help prop it up. So that's all I'm saying too. And I just want to show that loser's in the background, because there's about 20 of him that are working full time to harass.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. And I think part of the problem is a lot of people who are in the community who are into the sports, they're into the sports. They're still into the sports, and they're still into the money, and they're forgetting the main reason for this work. Sports is only, I would say, maybe 5 or 10% of what we're sharing, but it's also part of the game. So I guess people need to just put in those comments, show that they're winning. But the problem is a lot of people just care about the money, care about winning, and they still have a deep care for sports or their team. But they need to realize that it's more than just that.
Indeed. Yeah, again, I didn't get in this work to expose sports. That wasn't my original purpose. It was to expose how corrupt our government is. And I realized from studying what I was studying that the sports tied right in. And I've been showing the same things now for over 11 years. And the thing is, the majority of people who support the work, they support the work because they're more into sports and taking advantage of sports and making a buck. And I get that. But yeah, this knowledge is way bigger than just rigged sports. It's like you can see through with laser vision the ritual with Trump today. Just like you can see through the rituals with Trump every day and the rituals with Kamala and the rest of these puppets. That's how you can see the people on the world stage, whether they're athletic actors like these rigged sports games or they're political actors for the rigged politics. Again, you can see who's puppeteering all of this and you can make sense of why they're doing it.
Yeah, and for me, I used to love, basketball, NFL. I used to love it when I didn't know about this. And it was real easy for me to drop that, passion for the game. I still like to play it, but it's just not the same. Especially when you see the people who are dying for this, who are getting ritually sacrificed by numbers each day for the game. Like, how could you still like the game? How could you still support this?
Especially with all the ritual sacrifice and deaths. I mean,
Yep.
that's why going to the games, it's just like, it's sad. No, I got to call out. My dad is the biggest Yankee fan in the world, and he's never been to a Yankee game in his whole life. And again, you guys have to understand, my dad's a baby boomer. Back in the day, the Yankees were syndicated everywhere. We grew up in Portland, Oregon, without a baseball team, but he's going to his first ever Yankee game of his life because they're playing the Mariners this week, and he's retired. And in a way, I'm like, oh, you really should be going to those games, but he's just got to fulfill his childhood obsession with the Yankees. So. But really, you guys, we should not be going to these games because, I mean, these leagues do sacrifice people. They're evil. They're demonic. They're energy drainers. But my dad, like so many Americans, I mean, he lives and breathes sports, especially baseball. It's always been his thing. So,
Yeah, I just wanted to say appreciate it. We still have another slate of games going here for week 3. We have Sunday night football where we already mentioned a lot of things that could happen in that game. So people who are new here, join the Patreon. We're making money out of $1 bills. So
exactly. So,
all right, Zach.
All right.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, man. You have a good day.
You too.
All right. We got Jonah B in the back. What's up, Jonah?
Hey, Zach, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. So I'll share a little win ad this morning. I know the community ate with all the big Vikings Raiders upsets, but I liked the Packers the most. I like to single one out and go a little heavier. And so I went heavy on the Packers. And then as I was watching them walk out, I noticed they were really making it known that it's 83 degrees in Lambeau Field today. Big football number. So I went over to Zach's notes, saw the last time the Packers beat the Colts at home was 830 weeks ago. And also, ref number 83 is working the game. So I went and put a little bit more and was happy with the outcome. Packers
Now,
got the
people
win.
might be out there listening and be like, wait a minute, the temperature, you guys, these temperatures they throw up, whenever ESPN, if you pay attention to ESPN, they won't always put the temperature for the game. But when they do list the temperature, it usually is a number clue that's a ritual in the game. And I don't think it's really the temperature. I think it's like a secret way of communicating.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a long time as well. So if you're out there thinking he's got to be tripping, no, you guys, they are communicating through numbers.
Yeah. Indeed. They love to leave the little clues. But that's what I wanted to share today, Zach. I appreciate you. And yeah, you guys got to get in the Patreon. Only week 2. We got a whole season to go, and we're balling over here.
Indeed, we are. Again, we have a gentleman who's already up 10 grand from week 1. I know he's going to be up more today, but I did tell people to go more cautious this week. The picks were more challenging,
sure.
but like I said, there was a lot of good upsets on the board with a lot of real narratives and an opportunity to turn a real small bill into a big one. So, boom.
Indeed. Thank you, Zach.
All right. Congrats. You have a good one, Jonah. All right. So Jonah did it. He liked the Packers game. And again, that was one that we had a 2-week readout on. And, that's the nice thing, too. So often when a team is on 10 days rest, I mean, that's not really a numbers rig thing, but just kind of a statistical thing. A lot of times when these teams play Thursday night football, then their next Sunday game's 10 days later. Teams tend to do well on that. ESPN all week will be showing you the stats for coaches on 10-day rest, and it's usually pretty favorable for those teams. But yeah, we saw that LaFleur was destined for that 60th win against Indianapolis, the 60 City. Yo, Mr. Futures, don't you want to hop on? I haven't talked to Mr. Futures in a minute. Henry said he did great with the player props today. Well done, Henry. Again, you guys, we're educating about how to take advantage of games, how to take advantage of player props. Something I'm a lot more focused on this year is scores, because I realize there's a lot that can be done with scores. We've already called a number of scores this year. And again, you can turn $1 into $100 if you can get the score dead on. We had a super strong suspicion that we're going to be 43 points in that Seahawks-Patriots game 43 days after Brady's birthday. What's up, Ron?
Hey, what's going on, bro? I've been following you for the longest time and reading your book, and I finally want to join your Patreon because all these guys are making money, especially in this economy we're in. Like you said, it's all fixed.
Indeed. And that's what I mean. So that, again, people are hurting for cash right now. And that's why if you can just muster up $1 or $5 and do your homework, you can turn that dollar into $100, and that feeds families. So you don't have to risk a lot to get yourself a nice little payout.
Absolutely correct.
That's the whole mindset over here of just being smarter all around, not wasting your money on stupid stuff, and learning to do something smarter with your money. So make your money work for you, as they say.
There you go. And all the people who are wasting money going on these games thinking it's, not rigged or that it's all decided by the players on the field don't realize how fixed it is. I read your book. My buddies and I all believe in it. At first, my buddies were like, what's going on? How can that be real? And I had to explain to him, look on the back of your ticket. It says for entertainment purposes, like wrestling.
Exactly. It literally says that on the ticket. I mean, I don't know how people don't pick up on it.
They didn't notice it either until I showed it to them because we were parking. I said, read the back of your ticket for entertainment purposes. They were shocked. And you had already shown how to do the numbers. So it was a day. I live here in Phoenix, so we went to a Diamondbacks game. And I had to explain to him how it was all set up and planned.
I used to spend a lot of time at that ballpark when I was in college before I knew about all this. I went to school at ASU, so.
So did I.
Okay. Sun Devils, here we go.
All this NFL, NHL, and even baseball scripted.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let me give a shout out to all the other guys for their information. Thank you. That way I can show this to my friends later today at work, and they'll see how it was all scripted, like 83 for the Packers game. They don't ever go into the specifics of the weather unless it's a hint.
Exactly. And it might sound crazy if you're on the outside looking in, but you just pay attention, you'll start to notice they're dropping clues with what they're reporting the temperature is going to be.
Yep. Thank you.
Man. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for spreading the word.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have a good day.
You too.
I know my community decoded the Sun Devils game this week, too, and had a nice hit on that. I didn't even decode it. But you know what? They were doing 35 Thursday because I know Sun Devils equals 35. And think about it, you guys, 1225, like Christmas Day, 1225 as a square root of 35. The Catholic Church began worshiping the sun on that day in 274 AD, like the Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator, 274. What's up, JC?
What's going on, Zach? Hey,
How you
man,
doing?
met you pretty good, man. Met you last year in LA. I brought my son out to Staples Center.
I remember, yes, indeed. Yeah, thank you for coming out.
For sure, dude. Hey, we just want to point out that the notes on the player, props, it went 9-for-11 on the morning game. So 9 of the 11 players that you showed to scored.
Boom.
That's fucking amazing.
Well, again, that's the beauty of the knowledge, and understand that the games are rigged, and not to like sitting here and being in denial of reality.
Absolutely, 100%. So I mean, it's just a joke that people are still out there doubting the work, and I don't know what else to say, dude. It's crazy that people don't get it, that still doubt it, but we just got to keep going.
Indeed. And here's the other thing I want people to think about who are skeptics. Why has YouTube destroyed my channel? Why can I not get any views anymore? Where did all my good videos go from the early part of the channel where I still got views? Where did all the videos go? The Kobe death videos, they're all gone. YouTube scrubbed all the good videos and now makes it look like nobody watches this channel. Everyone's comments get deleted, except for the trolls, seemingly. They take away likes. I mean, they're trying to make it look like we're irrelevant because that's how most of those minds work. They're like, oh, nobody's watching that, so it must not be true. Oh, I looked at the comments section. It was all just people saying he's a scammer. And again, you guys, that's an operation being waged against us to try and keep people from figuring out what we're definitively proving year after year, season after season. So anyway, I appreciate it, JC. Thank you.
For sure, man. Talk to you next time.
Yep, take care. What's up, Phillies?
Hey, what's up, Zach? I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. You put us on the right path to try to come up and make money in our lives and change our lives in many different ways, not only besides helping us try to make money, exposing all this bullshit that they do to try to keep us as puppets and be slaves. So I just want to say I appreciate you. And how about them Saints today? They had a perfect narrative to win today. And they not only beat them, they blew them the fuck out. And people keep going for the 49ers. And look, the 49ers and Ravens both lost today. And I bet people went for them two teams because they think that they're going to win every week because they don't want to follow the numbers. They don't want to follow what you put out there to help them not fall into these traps.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, if only we had Alvin Kamara for 4 touchdowns. I loved him for a touchdown today. He went for 4. And you know what? That means Alvin Kamara has 44 touchdowns now because I liked him for 1 to get to 41, right? So he got 4 to get to 44.
And I got to say this, Zach. The Giants had a good narrative to win, and they got reversed. So that's why they need to follow this knowledge, because there's sometimes that the numbers go against the team that has good narratives too. That's how that's why people try to come on here and try to debunk you every time and call you a scammer. They watch what you do so they can reverse shit. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that type of.
If you took the Giants on the points, you won the bet today. They were the winning side of the bet in that way, but they weren't the outright winner.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to say that they need to follow this knowledge so they don't get baited into stuff like that. They baited them in, and guess what happens? They, like you said, without the points, they lose the game. So, and that's how they do it. They bait you in on certain things, like say for the 49ers, for example. Everything synced to Kamala Harris last week, and look what they do. They lay an egg to the Vikings with Sam Darnold. I wouldn't, if I didn't follow you, I wouldn't have took that game because of Sam Darnold. I would be reluctant to take it. You know what I'm saying? So sure. I'm happy for what you do, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Well, you're welcome. I appreciate the compliment. Thanks for being part of the community.
All right, man. Have a good one, Zach.
Take care. For all you guys, let me know about the Trump thing. I'd suggest you guys subscribe to Gematria Effect News 25. I covered that as soon as the story broke. It just total ritual by the numbers. Rigged football, rigged elections, rigged news every day, all day. You see right through it with laser vision with the code. I mean, we've been here 11 years proving our point. I haven't heard anyone make a real argument. The little weirdo who came on and just screaming at the camera, that's about the best the trolls can do. That's not debunking nothing. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Zach. How's it going, brother?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, my friend took I was telling my friend about this whole thing, and I told him to look into it. First, he was like, "No, I'm not gonna," but then he decided to look into it, and then I think he said he parlayed those 3 teams that you picked to win, to upset, and they won, and he won like $300.
Boom, and he probably didn't bet very much either. Probably bet $5 or $10.
Yeah. Also, I'm just thinking ahead here. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to happen. We know how, because you know how you say the whole the number 60 is like boss number in Indianapolis.
It's a big number there, yeah.
You think maybe next year? Maybe they have a shot?
That's you're right, because next year is Super Bowl 60. I see where you're going with that.
Right. I was just thinking maybe they have a shot. I'm not saying they're going, but I'm just saying that maybe a good possibility.
You're a Colts fan, aren't you, Michael?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, not as much, but I still, you know what I mean? Not like crazy, like, you know what I mean? Like how I used to be, but
Yeah, I remember that now. It's coming back to me. Okay. We'll see. We'll look at that next year. They do have a strong 60 connection, so
Yeah, that's why I was just thinking ahead about it. I was like, well, maybe next year. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. You know what I mean? So, but
Yep.
good job on the picks, though, Zach. That's you're hitting them big so far.
We're off to a good start. And I'll be honest with you guys. Again, we got the little one here that's going to pop out in less than 2 months. So I'm trying to give you guys a real good start to the season because there's going to be some serious sleep deprivation here pretty soon. And I'm going to be needing the community to pick me up. So we're giving out the ACE lessons to start the year, and we're starting off with a pot of gold. So appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Zach, have a good one.
All right. Take care, man.
You too. Bye.
All right. The link's in the chat if anybody else would like to join. Gematria Effect News 25 is my news channel. I got 3 videos up on the Trump thing. Shout out to Gematria32 in the chat. He actually, the third video. I'm sorry, Gematria32. I'm so bad. I meant to start that video by saying shout out to Gematria32. That the third video I put up on that channel was really Gematria32's comment that he left. He's a great decoder. Pound of payment with us in New York City. By the way, sorry, Gematria32. The trolls have now identified you. I don't even pay attention to what they're doing, but they're like, oh, I'm glad we know who he is. Watch out for the troll weirdos. We got Chris in the building. What's up, Chris?
I might well hire a couple people. You know,
Chris.
they can afford it.
Oh, it's a troll. It's a troll. I like how the trolls, man. Thanks for playing the 2018 audio that we've since gone a different path, and that was announced, and we had a live stream to talk about going a different route, and everyone was in agreement with the plan. So that's what you guys, just the intelligence agency that sits around here and screen records everything and tries to put out political messages and make it seem like we're the bad guys over here. I mean, please. The only bad guys are the people who are trying to put shame on my name. I'm the one that's helped. I'm Robin Hood over here. I'm the one who's helped people, change their lives and learn how to turn $5 into $500. We've been doing it for a long time. So we got people screen recording every video, troll agents hanging around 24/7, 365. It's why I got weirdos harassing my sweet lady at her own workplace. Yeah, that's the consequences of doing what we're doing. Having all the weirdos in the world employed to try and harass and dissuade from what we are doing. It's not going to happen. All right, if we don't have anybody else hopping on, I will go spend more time with Sweet Lady. I'll drop the link one more time if anybody else wants to come on and gloat a little bit, talk about their day. Here, you see this sheriff season in the chat? Just every comment he's left is just a troll comment, right? He's like, oh, that person sounds like the same person, just changing their voice. Again, troll. See, you guys, this is how you spot a troll. Just leaving nothing but just spamming nothing but BS comments. Oh, I think that's the same person with a different voice. Oh, I can't figure out what the notes say. Well, it sounds like there's an IQ problem. Sounds like there must be an IQ problem, Sheriff season. Here. Band season is what it is. Adios. Adios, troll. Again, I can't gloat about what I'm doing. I live in a state where things aren't legal. So, again, that's the other constant troll thing, and it's probably because they're feds, and they're just looking for a reason. Yeah, the same trolls always hanging around with the same stuff all day. What's up, Jay?
Yo, what's going on?
Jay, yeah, you're breaking up.
I'm breaking up. You can hear me now?
Now you're good. What's up?
Okay, yeah, microphone muffled. I'm just curious, like, do you think they're gonna because I know how you was talking about how the third time is the charm, and that's why I've been thinking. I'm like, if they doing all this, with shit with Donald Trump and his ways, like, okay, like if they already had 2 assassination attempts, like, are they setting it up for it to be like a third one that's successful? Like, do you
When
think
you spell out 3, it equals 56, right? Elections on the day, 56 days up there. They said this happened between holes 5 and 6. We just
exactly 5 and 6. And it's just such mockery. It's like they're gonna tell us, like, it's a completely irrelevant detail, but they have to let us know what, like, in between which golf holes he got shot at. It's just so fucking stupid, man. Like,
and
they're
again,
clearly putting numbers in our face
in front of you again. They got to put the same numbers in front of you again that we've been educating about nonstop for almost 5 straight years now.
Exactly. This is how I even came across this fucking channel because it was from the George Floyd shit where they were like the 8 minutes and 46 seconds shit. I'm like, like who the fuck would even know this? Like 46 seconds? Like that's how do you even know that? Like how do you know the exact number of seconds that the knee was on his neck? And it's like that's when I caught on that they was doing number shit.
I'm just waiting for the updated story that might come out in the days ahead because they said the shooting happened just before 2. So I'm just waiting to see the story that says it happened at 1:59 on 15/9 when Donald Trump equals 1:59 like Scottish Ray. It's just, and again, they got to tell you just before 2 for the second shooting story as NFL Week 2 is going on. I mean, and again, we've been showing for years how they connect all these things, how they all get scripted together. Just like we were showing you, again, if you guys didn't watch my news channel, that morning, Monday morning, I said, watch, 49ers will beat the Jets to make home teams 11-5 like the date of the election.
And you see how like that's why I had commented they're symbolizing how the debate is gonna go because now you see how people are saying Kamala won the debate, of course, because you had her team beat you had the team for her state beat the team for Trump's state, and I'm like they're symbolizing the day before the debate, they're symbolizing how the debate is gonna go. All this shit is literally rigged together. But I just like I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I be like really wanting to like I don't know. Like do you feel like there's like a loophole like around like like if you're in a state where sports betting is illegal, but like what I'm saying, like if I can because this is like when the knowledge is a pretty easy way to like to make money. So it's just like the shit be irking me where it's like, bro, like I be seeing so much shit like half the time, like because I'm now like an experienced decoder, I don't even have to watch like your live streams, and I just hate that I be missing so many like times to like make money because like I be knowing this shit, but it's like because sports betting is illegal, it's not like I can't even profit off of it.
Well, where there's a will, there's a way. And again, I mean, one way is if you got a friend in another state where it's legal. Another way is you can do it in your state, but then you're running a risk. So if you don't get yourself in trouble, but yeah, you can investigate ways that it can be done. So
that I've explored like what you're talking about, like when you talk about having a friend and shit like that. Like I've tried that, but the problem is you have to rely on them to be consistent with betting, which
you got to find the right people because
you know what I'm saying. It's like oftentimes like they're not. Then it's like you gotta have to talk about like the splits and all that other stuff, and it's just like it always ends up being too complicated.
When my work was not monetized, for people who don't know, I started monetizing my sports work. For 5 years, we did it for free. In September 2018 was the first time I monetized it for NFL Week 1, and I gave everybody a free 16 parlay, and it hit. And so a lot of people signed up instantly for the Patreon. Now, I had that same 16 parlay, and I had somebody who I knew in the community place it for me in his state. And you know what he told me after the game was over? Early in the day, he told me he got the best place. Yeah. By the end of the day, he said that something went wrong and the bet didn't go through. And then he stopped talking to me, so I know he kept that money.
Yeah.
And, again, I mean, that's the thing about how people can be shady.
Exactly.
You got to find the right people.
Yeah, it's like, and even with the Patreon shit, it's like, like even if I start, I'm not even like a sports fan. I just like doing shit to where it's like, okay, like I like being able to know this stuff and just act on it. But if I started a Patreon, it would have to be enough people and do all that. Then I have to be constantly like invested in this stuff. It's like I just want to be able to like you know what I'm saying? Like I got a quick, mind. I want to just be able to like see, like know this shit and then just be able to do it. And it's just like what?
Jay, somebody in the chat right now says get in contact with them. They got a message, but make sure you talk to them first because I don't know this person in the chat, but they really might just want to help you out. GMSM Dreezy in the chat says he's got you. He's got the message. So see what he's got to say.
All right, man.
Yeah, I got to get off though here in about 5 minutes. I got some more people on and then I got to run. But don't get yourself in trouble.
That's all. That's all.
Don't get yourself in trouble too because it's not worth it.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. You take care, man. All right, we got that boy Semi, Mr. Futures in the building, books and vlogs, and the next one. What's up? What's up?
Hello,
That
hello. Yo, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so I have a question. So I know I subscribe to the Patreon and I see that you post the notes, but I can't, like, I'm not at the point yet to where I can like look at the notes and like work through it. So like, do you post your parlays? Is there a way like I can trail some of your bets?
I'd get on the streaming tier if you're new and you need help, because we talk about things and lay it out really clearly. If you can't read the notes, then that's not helping you enough. I mean, I feel like the notes are pretty clear, especially when we're laying down in the player section how much it makes sense if this guy scores a touchdown. But again, I'd think about hopping up a tier level, because it sounds like you need the audio explanations. And the other thing about being in the streaming tier is you have the live chat with a lot of great decoders in there sharing their information and their finds. And I have students that I have a lot of students, I think, that are better than me. So they're, by being in the live stream, you're getting more of the community. Plus, you're getting their phone calls too.
Somebody in the chat saying I'm not. I can read the notes, obviously, but you're like the notes they don't give you an actual like winner. Like you just say, okay, this could happen and then this could happen.
Again, it sounds like a reading comprehension problem. I'd work on the reading comprehension, because it's actually pretty clear what you should do with the picks. It's all laid out. I mean, if you can't read, I mean, it's very specific things. Like, I think it's better to take the points in this game. I like this team. You might want to try a dollar parlay on this exact score. I mean, if that's not making sense to you, either you're a troll on here or
I'm not.
School. You guys, I can't even listen to that, because that's just annoying to me. I mean, that's somebody that must read at a first grade level. I can't listen to that. I mean, do you hear the other people saying they have those problems? Anyone who has those problems doesn't know how to read. I'm telling you, you don't know how to read. You probably read my book too, and it doesn't make any sense to you. You know, I'm sorry. I got to move on from that. What's up, Mr. Futures?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Now that last call just had me laughing. I've heard that same comment for like 3 or 4 years.
I mean, if that guy's serious, I'm sorry, man, but the IQ's low. Okay, get more sleep, eat better, do something, exercise, because your mind's not working right. I mean, I'm not listening to that.
Yeah, I mean, you put out a lot of information, and I think people, they just really want you to hold their hand, walking them through every single bet that you could potentially place, and I think that's not really what you're there to do. You know, all the information is there to be interpreted, and then obviously you don't want to take you don't want to be in control of people's financial situation or whatever, so you implore them to make their own choices, but 99% of the information is there to point you in the right direction, so I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, what could he not understand about, Saints? I said there's a great reason to take them in a small wager, because they have a great narrative upset. But if you to play it really safe, you can take them with the points and maybe tease it up to 7.5. Because the only narrative I really see for the Cowboys here is if they won by 7 in tribute to the number 59. I mean, so if you don't know what that means, then you're not on the level, dude. I mean, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, and what I will say about that is one point that he did kind of make is, and I agree with this, is obviously with a lot more experience, it becomes easy to interpret the work. But if you need a little bit more help than what you're getting with the notes, then you should just probably upgrade your membership to where you get the most value and invest actually in the information. Because if you're just gonna buy it at a basic level, you don't expect me to hold your hand to the fucking casino sportsbook. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and I just say, even if you're on the $5 tier and not getting the live streams, you should be able to read the notes and come to a conclusion based on what I write. I feel like I lay out a lot of information, and it leads you to what I'm thinking, whether I like that game or what I think you should do in that game, or just leave that game alone.
Yeah, no, definitely, Zach, definitely. Now, shout out to the National Fugazi League, man. Listen, I'm kind of superstitious right now because of how great things are going, so I really don't want to put too much information out there, because we know the NFL is just looking to throw us a curveball like every other league. But definitely shout out to the NFL, building the bags, collecting the bags early in the season. And to me, besides the NFL, the easiest game on the slate today, we attacked the Washington Nationals to destroy the Miami Marlins, and that's exactly what they did. So
how are you doing this baseball season? I'm having my worst baseball season ever. Has it been harder for you this year?
So that's not, I've heard that comment a lot, and honestly, Zach, I think the one thing that's probably protected me from it really going south is how selective I am and not going every single day. But it definitely has been more, I would say, difficult to consistency, put these huge winning streaks together this year. This year has been probably one of the most difficult MLB seasons over the last couple of years, definitely.
I've never seen a season like this. I mean, if you're extra selective, you can still do all right, but it's just like, I know Colorado in 38. I haven't seen what it did today. It might have lost today. It was 0-3 coming in today. I had another chance, but it's like, I didn't want to play Colorado in 38 on Sunday. It's already 0-3 this year. So,
yeah, the confidence level and some of the things that I've consistently hit over the last couple of years is not really there, honestly. The MLB has been like hit or miss with some of these really, really in sync decodes. I've seen a lot of good ones not come through, so I agree with you. There's something going on with the MLB this year, definitely.
Pirates in 88 keeps hitting, though. Actually, you know what? Giants in 25 has been good, but it actually failed in last night's baseball game. The Musgrove could have got his 25th loss, and he didn't. It was a good day outside of that. That was the one game that kept me off perfection yesterday on what I did. But, yeah, it's this season, man. The NFL's making up for it, but, man, I'll tell you what, this baseball season has just been giving me headaches. So,
yeah, it'll test your nerve, definitely. That's why, I say for everybody that thinks they could just jump into decoding and stuff like that, there's a lot of ups and downs with it, and to be extremely consistent is very, very difficult. And just have the patience for the people, like, you dealing with as many different personalities that you deal with, like, I shout out to you all the time, Zach. It's like a living headache you got 24/7.
Yeah, indeed. It's a lot of personalities to deal with, so. All right, Futures. Well, it's good to hear from you, man. If you guys don't know Mr. Futures, give him a sub. He does great sports work, too. He's one of the best students of all time, so keep it up.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Zach. Definitely shout out to you and congratulations once again. Wish you nothing but positivity and blessings, and take some time to to enjoy these upcoming moments. They're going to be really, really special. So
yeah, just minus the sleep, but
and I like that. I like that name, by the way. The name that you put out there is that's a really cool name.
Ruby?
No, did you not say 11? I thought you said 11.
Oh, well, that's gonna be the middle name.
Oh, the middle name. Okay, yeah. I'm on board with that one. I like that one.
All right, yeah, master number. All right, Vic.
Take care.
All right, take care. All right, that's Mr. Futures. You see him in the chat. Give him a sub. He does the decoding work too. He's a OG in the community, one of the original Patreon members. And I'll tell you what, Mr. Futures, like he's just a guy that added on to the thing. I always bring up that game on Monday Night Football where the Seahawks paid 3-1 that night. It was really Mr. Futures' call that helped the community out, because I was in Washington State overlooking it. I should have known. Sometimes I'm doing too much, but he's like, hey, Zach, it's Washington State's birthday. And Pete Carroll can get his 130th regular season win and 140th all-time win on Washington's birthday. And hold up, let me pull up the base ciphers, alphabetic order, forwards and backwards. Again, you go back and look, the Seahawks upset the Niners in San Francisco. And again, that was the 3-1 payout that night. They were a heavy dog. But Pete Carroll did get his 130th regular season win and 140th all-time win. That was a Mr. Futures callback then. What's up, Books and Vlogs?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Hey, man, I won big off that Jets and that 49ers game with Jordan Mason the other night. I turned $100 into like $500.
And see, that was the smarter move, because we said Jordan Mason looked good. He looked real good.
Yeah.
I just want to do that
Mason,
the game itself. So nice call.
Right. You think they ain't gonna let a Mason score though at that too? It's like Freemasonry. So
right on Scotch.
Yeah, it's like it's obvious.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I had to go with that. Like, for some odd reason, I'm like, man, Mason gonna score. It's like, his last name Mason. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think they ain't gonna let this dude score? Like,
Eric, you don't understand this whole thing with CMC. I bet you he's not even hurt at all, man. I mean, it just comes out of nowhere. But you see how Jordan 62 and Mason 62, that Monday Night Football game. Remember, MNF is 33, like the highest degree in masonry. But that Monday Night Football game where he tore it up, it was on 62 date numerology. And remember, you guys, he had 28 carries. Mason also equals 28. And he rushed for 147 yards in that debut game. Freemason 147. By the way, today was 147 days to the Super Bowl. But again, a lot of these guys are born and bred to be and named accordingly, and that's why he comes in for CMC by the numbers, and then they make it seem like CMC's injury is even more significant, but now he's a rising name. And you know when CMC comes back, they're going to be like, damn, they got this crazy two-headed monster at running back now. Now what are you going to do? So
yeah, and the thing is, he from the practice squad. It's like this dude just came out of nowhere. You know, he got his mom there because usually, you know, when they bring the parents, you know, especially the mom, you know, it seems like they're gonna do good, like they're gonna really set them up for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, man. Listen, everybody, the Patreon, yo, this is a real thing. The script is real, and you know, sports is real, man. Sign up to the Patreon. I've been winning a lot of money with Zach for years. Yo, man, you support him, man. It's a real thing. And that's all I got to say, man. Thank you, Zach.
Indeed. Congrats on the win. Well done. All right. You guys, for years, I had one tier for $5 and it got you everything. And people have been telling me for years to raise the price. So I created an $11 tier, and that was getting you all the live streams. And then this year, for the first time, we created a $20 tier. And to me, it feels a little bit pricey. But the thing on the $20 tier is you have a chance to win money every week. And right now we're giving out 6 prizes a week. The worst prize would pay back your whole money or your whole Patreon for the month. And the thing is, you get 4 times to play. So if you could win the prize 4 times, you could make a bunch of money. And anyway, we were doing a weekly contest, and the 303 area code was just dominating the contest. So I had to create more prizes. So just 303 wasn't cleaning up every week. Again, you guys, that's the thing. It's just like you go to class, right? You have a teacher. If I'm your teacher, we know how it is in the classroom. There's one student that usually outshines everybody else. 303 was just dominating the weekly contest game. So anyway, we have to come up with some more games and some runner-up prizes and make sure we got more winners. But yeah, the more people that jump on that $20 tier, the more the prize money will go up as well. And again, you do get all 7 days a week live streams, again, plus a chance to earn something. And if that's too pricey for you, again, on the $5 tier, you do get all the written content. But I do realize that, like, I saw the guy just go in the chat and say he wasn't trolling. Okay, if you're not trolling, I still don't know what to say back to you. It's just like, I don't want to be an asshole, but I'm thinking it's an intelligence problem. And I do realize I live in a society where a lot of people have 0 reading comprehension skills. So if your reading comprehension is shit, the $5 tier, maybe it isn't helpful to you because you literally can't comprehend information that you read. It's not a secret that in America, the average person has a very low reading comprehension. So if your reading comprehension is piss poor, you might need to sign up for the $11 tier so you can hear us speaking. But I mean, if you can read, the $5 tier is sufficient. Okay. And anyone who says otherwise, it's an intelligence thing, I'm telling you. So when you're in the chat writing laugh my ass off, I wasn't trolling. Okay, maybe you weren't, but I'm telling you what I know about you. You're not smart enough. And I don't mean to be an asshole, but that's just a fact. And that might piss you off, but the thing about intelligence is you can improve it. If you eat better, if you get more sleep, if you stop putting poison in your body, if you read more, you can actually improve your intelligence because your muscle is a brain. Just like you can have some weak, frail body. Like right now, I'm not in horrible shape, but I used to be in a lot better shape because I used to work out a lot more, you know? So my body's not what it used to be. My mind is sharper than ever, though, because I'm using that damn thing all the time. Some of you got to use your minds more because you've let your mind muscle go weak. And that's why you can't even read simple notes where things are explained out clearly. Like you literally read games today where I said, I really like this team to upset, but you might want to play it safe and take them with the points because then you're going to have 2 ways to win. If you're reading that and being like, I don't know who I should pick, I don't know what to say back to you, man. That the counter narrative, which I always write so you can just see what the risks are. If you're reading that part and you're like, wait a minute, I don't know who to pick now. Understand, I'm laying out the counter narrative just so you know what the risk is. But I'm saying what I like. You know, the stuff I like's at the top. The stuff to think twice about is at the bottom. Pretty simple. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there for now. I got to attend a sweet lady. But, shout out to Mike Rawson for being a member for 16 months. And again, if you guys want to join the Patreon, the link's in the description of every video. There's 3 tiers for sports content. $5 tier gets you all of the written content. Hey, actually, let's do a vote on this. I've been thinking about doing this for the $5 tier. I've been thinking about making Friday streams available to the $5 tier as well. What do you guys think for people who are on the $11 and $20 tier? Do you have a problem with that if I open up Friday streams for the $5 tier? If you're okay, if you already pay for the $11 and $20 tier and you don't have a problem with me opening up Friday streams to the $5 tier, leave a 1 if you're okay with that. If you don't like the idea, put a 2. If you don't mind the idea or you don't care, 1. If you don't like it, 2. I do everything as a vote. Because that's one thing I would think twice about. Maybe people be annoyed. They'd be like, well, I don't think that's fair because they're only paying 5. But they're only getting 1 stream a week. And it might be helpful to the guy who with no reading comprehension. Maybe if he just gets in a stream once a week and hears us talk, then he's like, oh, I'm getting it more. Because I know these guys exist. They can't read for shit. Gematria32 gave you a 2 because he wants you to pay more. I'm seeing more 1s. That's what I'm going to start doing, you guys. If you're on the $5 tier, I'm going to make the Friday stream available to you too. Sorry, Gematria32. I do value your opinion, but yeah, and really for the guy who I'm giving a hard time, the reason I'm talking about that right now is because of you and people like you. You guys might just need a little extra guidance so you can learn how to read. But only Friday. You want streams all throughout the week, you better sign up for a higher tier. So $5 tier now gets you all the written content plus Friday live streams. $11 tier gets you all of the written content and live streams Monday through Saturday. $20 tier gets you all of the written content, every live stream 7 days a week, and a chance to make money. That's the other big perk of the $20 tier, a chance to earn some decent money. So, All right. Sweet lady time. Congrats to the winners, you guys. Don't spend it all in one place. And again, when you get here, one more, always this morning. When you make a lot of money, so many people are inclined to bet way more the next time. I'm telling you, it's a mistake. That's going to be the day you miss your bet and you give all your money back. If you've been turning 5 into 100, 200, 300, 500, a guy had a chat that he was 1 pick off from today from turning 5 into 5,000. We've had plenty of people do things like that over the years. Not an easy thing to do, but it can be done with this knowledge. So often that is the thing, though. They were 1 pick off on turning the 5 into a few thousand, because it's hard to do that, and you'll come so close. But people have done it. But again, just stay with that method until you've built up a lot of house money. And then once you've built up enough house money, if you've been betting 5s and doing it, you can upgrade to 10. But make sure you've won it a lot of times. Because I'm telling you, so many people, they got greed inside them. That's the problem with humans. They get greedy, and they're like, whoa, if I put 500 down today and I hit this, it's going to be 50,000. But then you know what? You came up 1 short and you gave all 500 back that you won last week off $5. I'm telling you, I've heard the story a million times. If you just stay consistent, like for all of you guys who turned a 5 into 500 in week 1, you've already ensured you made a profit through the whole football season, and you've paid for all of your Patreon, and you got money to spare. And if you can just do that, a handful of more times in the season, you've made some nice extra money. You can buy a used car, you can pay down your debt, your credit card bill, you can start a coffee stand, you can start your own business. So again, I like I always preach, be the tortoise, not the hare. And I'm sure you guys all know that nursery rhyme. Tortoise just stays slow, steady, and consistent. Just keeps building. Hare gets too big for his britches, thinks he's way out in front, won it all, and then next thing you know, he lost the race. So, and again, there's a lot of guys in this community who've been way up and lost it all because they got too greedy at some point. So, again, gambling does have a dark side, and we try to stay away from that dark side. We just stay being smart, turning small bills into big bills, and if we lose our small bill, then we figure out a way to get it back the next day by not wasting it on something stupid like most people do almost every day with their money. If you just blow your money on stupid stuff, stop doing that. What's the point of blowing your money on stupid stuff? Buying stuff you don't need, buying junk food you don't need? Cut that out. Again, learn how to use your money a smarter way. And I'm not necessarily saying gambling is the smartest thing you can do with your money, but this is a way that you can literally turn 5 into 500. So again, in my opinion, as someone who's always been smart with money, I don't think this is the worst thing you can do. Some people want to come here and shoot the messenger and don't like what I'm doing with this, but again, I don't think it is a bad thing. You know, I don't care if it's some religious book says it's evil. I disagree. Evil is when you're hurting somebody else. I guess the only people we're hurting are the bookies and the casinos, but they're mostly hurting everyone else. If 1 out of 100 people's hurting them back, to me, that's fair. And the reason we're the 1 out of 100 hurting them back is because we're the people who used our mind and figured out how to take advantage of a rigged system. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now. Again, congrats to the winners. And until next time, True Seeker.